Okay, let's talk about something that pretty much runs all of our lives, our phone's battery. Yeah, that little power pack holds a lot of, well, power over us. So let's get into the real story.
Oh, we have all been there, right? You're about to call for a ride, you're lining up that perfect photo, or you need to pull up directions, and boom, you see that dreaded red icon, that little jolt of panic. It is completely universal.
And here's the thing. For years, we've all been passing around these little tips and tricks to try and squeeze out a few more minutes of power. But it turns out a lot of that common wisdom is either super outdated or, honestly, it was never even true to begin with. So today, we're going to set the record straight. First up, let's tackle the biggest myths. I guarantee you've heard these a dozen times from friends, family, maybe even from some questionable tech articles online. It's time to bust them, one by one. This is the big one. We all do it, don't we? Frantically swiping up, closing every single app, thinking we're being so efficient. But here's the reality. Modern operating systems are really, really smart. They're designed to freeze apps in the background so they use almost no resources at all. When you force close an app, your phone has to do all the heavy lifting of loading it from zero the next time you open it, which actually uses more energy. Oh, this piece of advice is a total fossil. It's from the age of those old chunky nickel cadmium batteries. For the modern lithium ion batteries in our phones, draining them completely is actually really stressful. Seriously, think of it like making your battery run a full marathon every single day. It just wears it out so much faster. The real sweet spot, the happy place for your battery, is keeping it somewhere between 20% and 80%. Okay, good news for all you nighttime chargers. You can't overcharge your phone. It's not a thing. Modern smartphones have built-in circuits that literally just stop the flow of electricity once the battery hits 100%. However, keeping a battery pegged at 100% for hours on end does create a tiny bit of stress that over a few years can degrade its health. It's not a disaster, for sure, but it is a habit worth thinking about. All right, so with all those myths out of the way, let's focus on what's really draining your battery, day in and day out. These are the real culprits. So, as you can see, your screen's display is the number one power hog on your phone. It's not even close. The brighter it is, the faster your battery dies. After that, it's a whole mix of things working in the background. Apps constantly checking your location, refreshing their content, and oh, this is a big one, your phone desperately searching for a signal when you're in an area with bad reception. And speaking of screens, you have to see this. It shows the incredible power of dark mode, especially if your phone has an OLED screen, which most newer models do. On these screens, black pixels are literally turned off. They're just not drawing any power. A test by PhoneBuff used robotic arms to make sure it was fair, and it showed that after about 7.5 hours, the phone in light mode was completely dead, while the dark mode phone still had 26% battery left. That's a huge difference, and it just shows how much juice that screen really uses. Okay, enough about the problems. Let's talk solutions. Here are some simple settings you can change right now for an immediate, noticeable improvement in your battery life. And hey, don't just take my word for it. Apple themselves state right there in the settings menu that managing background activity can make a real difference. So yeah, the folks who actually make the phone are telling us this is a key area to focus on. So here are your easy wins. Go into your settings and turn off background app refresh for apps that just don't need to be constantly updated. Do the same for location services. Now here's a surprising one, keyboard haptics. That's the little vibration you feel when you type. It seems so small, right? But it can eat up 2 to 4% of your battery. And of course, when you're running low, low power mode is absolutely your best friend. But what if your battery is acting really strange, like shutting down unexpectedly or jumping from 50% to 20% in an instant? This is where we need to figure out if it's a software glitch or if the battery itself is just dying. So let's break down how to tell the difference. Think of this table as your diagnostic tool. Let's look. If your phone suddenly shuts down at 30%, that's likely a software problem. The meter's just confused. But if it drains quickly but predictably all the way down to 1%, that's pointing to a failing battery. And the ultimate clue? Check your maximum capacity in your battery settings. If it's below 80%, that's a really strong sign the hardware is wearing out. So if you think you have a software glitch, a recalibration can often fix it. This whole process basically just reteaches your phone's software what full and empty actually are. First, use your phone until it dies completely. Then let it sit for a few hours. Next, charge it all the way to 100% without messing with it. After that, let it soak on the charger for another hour or two. Finally, just restart it. This can seriously work wonders. Fixing a problem is great, but preventing it is even better, right? So let's talk about the simple habits that will maximize the lifespan of your battery, keeping it healthy and keeping your phone useful for years to come. If you remember one number from this whole thing, make it this one, 80%. That 20 to 80% range is the comfort zone for lithium-ion batteries. Constantly charging to 100% is what puts the most strain on it. This is exactly why your phone has optimized battery charging, which holds your charge at 80% for most of the night. To make this even more real, consider this number, 500. A typical phone battery is designed to keep up to 80% of its original capacity after about 500 full charge cycles. A charge cycle is one full drain from 100 down to 0. So the fewer full cycles you put it through, the longer its health is going to last. Simple as that. So to wrap up the long-term strategy, just treat your battery kindly. Keep it out of extreme temperatures, never leave it on a car dashboard in the sun, use good chargers that provide stable power, turn on the smart charging features your phone already has, and please break that old habit of draining it to empty. These small things add up to a much longer-lasting device.
And that brings us to our final thought. The way we treat our batteries is really a reflection of how we see our technology. Are we trying to make these amazing devices last, or are we unconsciously just treating them as disposable? It's something to consider the next time you plug in your phone. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.